On for you. I hope everybody that's listening right now has been with us all along. If you just joined us, that's great too. We do have now an exciting interview coming up, as has been our ilk for a while. When we can get exciting people to interview with, we love it. And I'll turn it over to Garen for the introductions here.
Well, you know what? He's just another member of our military family.
All right.
And we have on the line with us the founder of Fighter Energy, and Brian Smith. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Great.
Doing good. Thanks so much for joining us today. We really appreciate your time.
No, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Well, I want to start off by first telling the audience out there that Fighter Energy has supported AVAT Project in the past, and you've got a very unique product, and we'll get into some of that here in a moment. But for everybody that's listening, we'll talk about the product, so stay tuned. But let's hear a little bit about how it all came about. Brian, you're a Satellite Beach resident. You were born and raised in Florida?
Yeah, that's correct. I was born in, well, I wasn't born in Florida, unfortunately. I was born in Texas.
Okay, well, nevertheless, you...
I'm growing up in Satellite Beach, so I do consider that my home. So.
Well, that's great. And just for all our local listeners on the Space Coast, you may have run into Brian or his family. What prompted you or what influenced you to join the Navy?
Well, actually, I was a student over at Satellite High School, and then I went to BCC for a little while there in my senior year. And from there, I started talking to the Navy, and originally I was interested in their nuclear program, and then I actually entered as a sonar technician, so that was my primary job. And then from there, being on a frigate, there's an opportunity to be a search and rescue swimmer for the ship, so I took that opportunity, and it was really exciting. I got to do a lot of counter-drug operations down around South America, and it really expanded my horizons a lot, and that's really where everything came from with Fighter is my experiences with my shipmates and everything that we went through.
So you were a pretty strong swimmer to boot? I mean, is that how you got motivated to be a rescue swimmer?
I'm pretty sure that came from the Satellite Beach upbringing. And, the football conditioning over Satellite.
Of course, and for all those that are listening somewhere else in the nation, whether it's Vermont or Colorado or wherever you're at, Satellite Beach is situated right here on the Atlantic, what we call the Space Coast, just south of Cape Canaveral, Cocoa Beach, Patrick Air Force Base. So you were a good swimmer, you joined the Navy, and you reached out and grabbed opportunities as they came about, and you became a rescue swimmer, did some drug interdiction stuff. So how long did you serve in the Navy, and would you consider it a good experience? Would you do it again?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the Navy changed my entire life. It really, I was in for 6 years, and when I first went in, I had not a clue of what I wanted in life. So, I went in with open expectations, and I mean, I never would have imagined that I would have done all the things that I ended up doing in the Navy, which I traveled to over 40 countries. We
Wow.
used nearly $1 billion in drugs, just on the Simpson alone. We met amazing people in all these different places, and I still have friends all over the world. So, it's really just made me, more well-rounded person and someone who's really started questioning everything. I'm like, why can't I fix all the small issues that I had with each of the energy drinks, because none of them were working for me. There was an issue. I'm out there, doing these operations, and whether we're on like a 12-hour watch, and then I go out on a mission, and I gotta come back, and everyone's got their job to do, and it has to get done. There's no oh, I'll do it next time. You're out to sea. It's you and your shipmates. So, the coffee wasn't doing it for me. I mean, a lot of people out there know.
Caffeine, whatever they can pound down, right, to try and stay alert.
So I thought, you know what? Let me do a much healthier option. Let me do something that's easy, that's portable, and really one of my boxes is 240 energy drinks. You can put that in the corner of your rack, and you're good for 7 months. Whereas you put a couple, cans of energy in there, and you got like maybe a half a week or so.
Yeah, big difference just in the portability of it. But while you were in, Brian, I wanted to ask: did you have any injuries? Are you a disabled vet by chance? Did you ever have to deal with the VA on any level?
Yes, I am a Fighter Energy is a service disabled veteran-owned small
Thank you.
business.
That's what I was getting at. Very good. So again, you took advantage of that opportunity, and as a service-disabled veteran-owned business, there's some doors that open for you in your business.
Yeah, once we get things moving, and I mean, we're really in this really strong growth phase right now, and Fighter is just kind of coming into its own. So once I'm getting all kinds of support, and we're really starting to grow, and then right now I'm working with some friends of mine have a company uh, called Health Warrior. They have a chia seed product, and they're working on their military approval. And so we're going to work together. And once I get that, then yeah, my dream is to have my product out there just for my shipmates to use. In those situations that I was like, man, if I just had something I could just throw my cup of water, my bottle of water. That was always something I was thinking of. I was like, if I could just get this out to my shipmates, then I'll feel like I've accomplished something. So that's really what I'm pushing for. And this new donation we're doing this month is a great opportunity to do that, which is we're going to donate 75,000 Fighter Energy drinks to
Oh,
our military.
outstanding.
Outstanding. Well, tell us a little bit exactly about what Fighter Energy is, Brian.
Well, Fighter Energy is effervescent tablets, right? So what does that mean? That means that it's about the size of a quarter, and you can put it in your water, you can put it in your juice, you can put it in any drink that you want, and it creates a light, effervescent, citrus berry flavored drink. So it accents everything really well. You can put it. I mean, our customers
Cranberry juice, orange
yeah,
juice.
they put it in Sprite, they put it in tea, they put it in water, they put it in their mixed drinks. I even had someone put it in wine. And it's amazing. It's just this nice flavor, and what effervescence is, it's the reaction that occurs between the acid and the base in the tablet, and it separates the ingredients. So I always get comments like, "Wow, this dissolves like so cleanly. I've never seen that." Because there's always powder and sediments, and it ruins the drink. But effervescence, and I mean, our scientists, I developed this in Germany. So basically, our scientists are just world renowned for this effervescent process, and being able to cleanly um, dissolve and the ingredients quickly into your drink is the real asset around effervescence, because the actual the ingredients are more effective basically than the other forms like liquids or tablets or any of those sort of things. So we use less than half the caffeine of most of our competitors, and then we have no sugar, we have 5 calories. So it's really just the amount of energy you need when you need it, where you need it.
And it's so portable, folks. I mean, how many are in a tube? I believe 10 tablets.
Yeah, exactly. There's 10 in the tube.
So imagine having 10 5-hour energy drinks or one of your other competitors, the amount of space that would take up. You're talking about your shipmates and what have you, versus a small vial of these.
Yeah, basically you can have 10 drinks in your pocket, and let's say you're out on a deployment. Well, you jump up in the morning, you got to watch. Okay, you take one, and it's a quarter of the caffeine you have in a cup of coffee, but it has B vitamins, it has taurine, it has all the things to get your blood flow into your head, give you the nice B vitamin boost that you need, and it's just that nice, healthy, crisp energy. And then let's say you go for a workout later on. Okay, you can throw another one in instead of just stacking a huge amount of caffeine and sugar and other things into one dose. Which that's the great thing about Fighter is the dosing. You can snap a tablet in half if you'd like. You can put a tablet in a full 20 ounces of water. So
Exactly.
How
So
how
you can
long
tailor
does
it.
the effect last to make you feel energized? I guess would be a good word. Once you've had a whole one tablet, about how long would you expect that to help you stay energized?
see, that's a very, very common question, and the reason that's so common is because of the way energy drinks are marketed currently. And I'm actually trying to change the way that people think about energy drinks, because it's not necessarily about the number of hours that you're going to get of energy. It's about you, for one, we're a healthy lifestyle company. So Fighter Energy is not a replacement for exercise. It's not a replacement for water. It's an addition. You know, it's a supplement to help, you know, when you need that energy. So, back to your question about how much energy does it give you, we have 37.5 milligrams of caffeine, and then we have taurine, glucuronolactone, inositol, and a B vitamin complex. That's the basic core ingredients that most energy drinks have. And really, your body doesn't need more than 25 to 50 milligrams of caffeine to give you a nice boost. So you get that initial boost with the caffeine, then you get taurine, which increases the blood flow to your brain and your faculties. So, you know, that gets you awake and where you're feeling alert, right? And then you have B vitamins, which carries you on for that long-term energy. So
There's no aspirin in the drink at all.
I'm sorry.
There's no aspirin. What you listed are the primary active ingredients.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
I was just asking, some people have asked, is there aspirin in the drink, in the Fighter Energy?
It's not like a headache thing, or it's strictly for, you know, just an energy boost.
Exactly.
So,
Hey, Brian, what's a website folks can go to learn more about you and this awesome product?
you can go to fighterenergy.com. That's our primary website. You can, you know, connect to all our social media through there. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr. I actually just started a new video blog.
Yeah, let's talk about that. You're just up and running with it.
Yeah, fighterenergy.tumblr.com. That's where I'm actually going to be sharing everything that I'm doing. I'm building a viral video, a video campaign right now, basically to spread the word about this new Hydrate, Energize, Live campaign I'm doing on RocketHub.com on Tuesday. And what that is I'm going to let you guys vote on our caffeine content, our flavor, our upcoming TV series, our design for the new individual tablets. We're really going to take the, you know, the control and give it to the people. We're going to give it to our community. We're going to let you guys, you know, pick the hot topics and take our, you know, outstanding formula and tweak it so that it's, you know, even better for everyone. So I think it's something new that a lot of companies probably haven't tried, and I think it's going to be something exciting. So that's Hydrate, Energize, Live on RocketHub.com starting Tuesday.
Outstanding. You got a lot going on, brother, and we celebrate you for doing this on an entrepreneurial basis and being successful at it. I know you're going to just start growing by leaps and bounds. We've tried the product. We love it. We've given it to the troops in our EEBs, the care packages, and here at Patrick. We've got nothing but positive feedback on it. Folks, this is Brian Smith. He's a Navy vet. He's developed this awesome product. It's an energy drink that's super portable. And I sound like an infomercial, but you know what? We always want to support those that have not only served honorably, but have got a great product and idea. You can go to fighterenergy.com. And Brian, thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward to hearing from you down the road.
Well, thank you guys, and again, for everyone, just support our troops. They need it. Just get out there and, you know, anything from a letter to a handshake to a hug, you know, all that stuff helps. So, you know, the little things help.
Well
Yep.
said, and again, thank you for your service, Brian.
All right, thanks, guys.
You bet. Have a great day. Folks, that was Brian Smith of Fighter Energy, and it's an awesome drink. FighterEnergy.com. Find out more about it. He's got an active blog. You'll probably see this YouTube AWR American Warrior Radio video up there. Glenn, we got some stuff we want to talk about here also. About we were talking about Shinseki and some of the doors he'd opened regarding the burn pit. Now, explain a little bit about this whole burn pit business.
Well, okay. Nasty business might be a good term for burn pits. We think it's most likely going to be son of Agent Orange. It's going to be the next Agent Orange,
That's
the
a good way
Agent
of putting
Orange
it.
of this generation, unfortunately. As early as 2002, the military in both Afghanistan and Iraq, because we were heavy in Iraq at that
Of
point in
course.
time, started using burn pits as trash disposal. and trash disposal for everything was all thrown in there and then ignited and burned with jet fuel. So there's a carcinogen right there,
In and of
burning jet
itself,
fuel.
exactly.
But there was medical waste in there, human waste in there.
Tires.
Yeah, the normal everything
yeah.
other garbage that you can think of that
Of course.
goes into a garbage pit.
Lots of plastics.
Yep, went into this pit all together, all things that some of which when you burn them put off gases that are not good for humans.
Carcinogenic, meaning they will cause cancer. Not that they can, they will.
They will, and
So you got plumes of black smoke. And
plumes of black smoke, you know, that in itself could cause breathing problems. Breathing problems is the first thing you'll think of that was caused by this. And there are potentially many other problems that can be caused by it. Just as Garen highlighted for you, the word carcinogen, cancer-causing agents coming out of these burn pits. And was this just at one or two places? Heck no. It was universal trash disposal methodology in Afghanistan and Iraq, and guess what? We're still in Afghanistan, so they're still using it.
Of course.
Because there's no other way to dispose of trash, and you can't leave all this trash laying around. It by itself, especially medical waste, is hazardous to your health for humans, and the civilian population would suffer alone from that. Of course, they're suffering with us with this burn pit exposure if they were around those areas where we're doing that. So,
and it's the particulate, the smoke is one thing you mentioned, upper respiratory infections and problems and things like that, but eye disorders, skin problems.
Absolutely. Skin disorders.
The list is probably going to grow.
Oh, it's going to grow. I have no doubt that it's going to grow. Unfortunately, it's going to grow. So finally, the administration and Congress have given approval to establish a registry for people exposed to the burn pits, to the smoke, to the fumes, and you didn't necessarily have to be there staring at it to
You
be
could be
exposed.
across the compound. You could be,
depending on where the wind's blowing, you could be a couple miles away. So,
so we're talking huge numbers of troops were affected.
Thank you.
Potentially affected.
Huge numbers of troops.
Yeah.
And
I won't say everyone, but you could make a case that it's at least 90% of the guys.
Oh,
and
I'm
gals.
sure that's probably going to turn out to be the case. So they're establishing a registry which is just like the Agent Orange registry. The Agent Orange registry is if you go to the VA, even if you're not enrolled for healthcare there, you can go to the VA and say, I was in Vietnam and I was exposed to Agent Orange, boots on the ground. Then they will conduct an Agent Orange registry exam for you, which is a standard battery of tests, and keep that record. And if later on medical science shows that exposure to those herbicides, that's what Agent Orange was, exposure to those herbicides can cause XYZ problem, and you have lab tests or something that show you will potentially have XYZ problem, then they will notify you, and then you can notify somebody like me, a veteran service officer, to get help and file a claim for it. So there's one of the benefits of being on a registry. It gets you instant feedback and access to get a claim going, and more importantly, to get VA furnished health care for whatever that problem is that was caused by Agent Orange. Same thing applies to this burn pit thing, except there's no law right now that says anything is recognized as a presumptive service-connected disability due to exposure to burn pits. But it's kind of like Agent Orange started off. You got to start somewhere, and you get all these. So anybody that thinks they were exposed, please go get a burn pit registry exam. Or not exam. They're not doing exams yet. But
you're getting on the list.
Get on the list. Because when enough people get on the list, then they will start doing exams. And then hopefully it's going to lead to establishment of presumptive service-connected disabilities like exposure to the Agent Orange herbicide has caused.
And you've got to be motivated to do this for yourself or your family member. If you're married to a vet that was over there and exposed and maybe has a hard cough or some unexplained eye problem or skin rash, you know, you can encourage them to go in and sign up with this registry and let it develop from there, because it's an environmental toxin. behooves you to do this, and don't be afraid. They've already got your information, but they're not going to do anything unless you get registered.
Yeah, and
They know you're out there.
And what's one of our greatest duties when you were there, and I'm sure you still feel the same way, and that's to take care of your brother and sister veterans,
Good
and particularly
point.
while you're in a combat arena. And that's what you're doing
Your-
now by
your
getting
battle
on the
buddy.
burn pit registry.
Yep.
Is that's going to take care of your brother and sister veterans down the road, and we got to get started somewhere. So, as Garen said, do it now.
Yeah, your battle buddy in the burn pit registry. You know, think of it like this: the stop loss situation where guys and gals were held over involuntarily. They never got their money. There's a huge pool of money setting aside somewhere. I'm sure they've stolen it by now, the government.
Oh, I'm sure it's been used by now.
The Physical Disability Board of Review, 70-some thousand that didn't get their just benefits when they separated from service. This is another example. It's up to you, or if you know a vet and you know they were over there and potentially exposed, tell them, hey, the VA's got this registry going for environmental toxins, this burn pit. You should go down and get signed up, because if we don't claim these benefits, folks, they're not going to come knock on your door.
Yeah, and it's not going to eventually get the benefits to the people who ultimately end up with a disability caused by this exposure. And this is where you start, as I said. So do it now.
Yeah, for sure. What else we got on the line there? Because I know there's so much happening, and especially in all these wranglings with the finances.
Oh yeah, oh my goodness, I can't even keep up with my emails anymore with the major changes in VA benefits. But one of the things that's been changed for military retirees here, their health care plan is called TRICARE. Up until they turn 65, and then it becomes a free supplement to Medicare, and it's called TRICARE for life at that point. But when they get
Now,
out
retirees, so whether you got
military
20
retiree,
years,
20 years or 30 years or somewhere in between,
or medically retired, if
or
you got a
medically
blue card in
retired.
your pocket,
Yeah, exactly.
this
Yeah.
applies to you.
For the blue card holders.
Very good.
Well, or the regular card holders, I guess I have
Exactly.
to say.
That's true, too.
Blue card are the medical retirees, and then you got the regular card, which is, I have to reach in my wallet, but it's green or something
Yes.
like that. It may be blue too. Anyway, recently the administration, effective this October, 1st of October this year, 2013, has allowed that. There used to be a thing that said if you live 40 or more miles from a base, you could get TRICARE Prime, which is a managed health care plan run by TRICARE. And you got it, and there were special ways that it was administered and everything, because normally TRICARE Prime starts with a military health care facility. They become your primary care people, or at least your referral agency, to get you downtown
If you're within 40 miles.
if you're within 40 miles of the installation. Well, now they've said no more. If you're, and that also included, by the way, people more than 40 miles outside of an installation that got closed due to the base realignment and closure process called
Okay.
BRAC.
Okay.
Like where I retired from, Chanute Air Force Base in Illinois, out in the middle of a cornfield. If you lived, for the folks that have stayed there who are military retirees living more than 40 miles from there, they also were eligible. Now, don't ask me some of the logic behind this, but that's the rules.
Okay.
Well, bottom line is they're not eligible come October 1st.
Okay.
And this is going to, save the DOD about $55 million. Well,
you gotta be kidding.
that's a drop in the bucket compared to a DOD budget. It's not a drop in the budget to a retiree trying to live, military retiree trying to live on a fairly low fixed income, and that $55 million, they're paying for it. It's coming out of their pocket. It's just like now you get to pay for your health care again.
Yeah.
This is wrong. This is terrible.
And is there any way that this can be reversed, or is this already set in stone, going to happen whether we like it or not?
Well, I think it can be reversed, just like TRICARE expanded eligibility and had TRICARE Prime and TRICARE Standard and TRICARE Extra when they tried to take away our military health care for life, and we fought that battle for about 8 years, so we finally got Congress to change some laws concerning military health care to put in these TRICARE programs to at least mostly meet the promise that you would get medical care for life once you retired from the military. That was a big
Yep.
incentive to stay in the military
Of course
for
it
20
was.
or more years. And when
So, Glenn, what's it all boiled down to? Folks have to get active. You got to pick up the phone or pick up a pen and make your voice heard.
that's right, call your congressman, call your senator.
They
What?
don't like to hear from you, but if they hear from you, they're obligated to act. They want to get rid of you.
And please be not confused, because this happens sometimes. People call their state senators and their state representatives, and that while they may help you, that's not gonna. It's a federal issue.
That's right, folks. You got to get active. You got to keep listening to American Warrior Radio right here on AM 1300 WMEL, sponsored by AVET Project. And as always, Glenn,
Don't forget, thank a vet.